Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, January 4th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, NVDY, MSTY, and AMZY. But first, little recap on my YouTube account. This is the 2024 recap that they sent me. It's showing, I now have 20,744 subscribers. For the year of 2024, I got 2.5 million views, 245,000 likes. I did 710 uploads, which, now looking at this, obviously that's a lot. And then 33,000 comments. And it looks like my top video was how to retire on YieldMax. So, and I know I'm overdue. I need to do a how to retire on YieldMax redo and a how to retire on MSTY redo. So again, that's, kind of in the backlog at some point, but I wanted to share the recap and just say, thank you to everyone who participated in those numbers. So let's move on. Here we go. So who had trades yesterday? TSLY. Yeah, of course, TSLY had a trade. Everyone had a freaking trade, apparently. NVDY, and I'll get to that in a second. AMZY, CONY, and MSTY. Look at this. Look at this mess. I got home a little later than I wanted to yesterday, and when I saw all these trades, you guys knew it was coming. I kept talking about it, and I made the decision. So NVDY is no longer going to be covered in the detailed analysis that I have been doing. Obviously TSLY, NVDY, and MSTY, I always cover every single detail, every single dollar. And I knew it was getting to a point where it was unsustainable. And luckily the timing worked out because they just declared. So, I just didn't have the time to do all these trades yesterday. So I had to make a decision, and I'm going to cut NVDY. Again, TSLY, NVDY, and MSTY, all powerhouses, just like CONY. And everyone's pissed off I cut CONY. I know. Everyone's going to be pissed off I cut NVDY. It's not that... There's never the right decision, but however, TSLY got us here and MSTY kept us here, right? So those are the two I'm keeping for now. And I say for now because things can change, right? The coverage via the holdings could be the new methodology that I do use. But for now, I am still going to do them in detail as long as I can, right? But again, these funds get more complicated as time goes on, which is good. It's a good thing, right? It means they're doing more, but it's just harder and harder to cover because this is not, I don't have that kind of time at night. It's more about how much time at night it involves. And obviously, with a family of 4 sports, you can imagine it's not happening half the time. So I'm able to squeeze it in. And now, again, I had to make the decision. So NVIDIA is going to be covered a little differently, but I'm still covering it, so bear with me, please. All right, that being said, we're all past that. Let's go to TSLY. All right, so what did TSLY do yesterday? Buy call, sell call, sell call. All right, so there's no P, all right? So that there's no buy call, sell put, so there's no P in there. What does that mean? All right, it means it looks like they closed out their positions. Because first, if there's no P, then go look for BC, all right, under type BC. BC by the close. They closed out their 1,500 contracts at what? The 390. Okay, they closed that out. What'd they pay? Did they win? No, they got their asses kicked. They paid $19.85. That means they lost their shirt. They got capped. They had to pay for this massive, massive loss because Tesla went to the moon. However, look at the expiration date. The expiration date was not yesterday. It's next Friday. So they decided to close this out early, and we'll take a look at why in a second. And then same thing with the 8,000 contracts. BC by the close, they closed 8,000 contracts, 400 strike, 17. Oh my God, yeah, that $17. They lost. They got whooped, right? But again, let's take a look and see what the damage looks like. Okay, first we will go to TSLY. Again, they did not add to their synthetic position yesterday, so this synthetic remains. Tesla is at 410. The synthetic strike is at 480. And they're 14% away now, which is, again, that expires in 49 days. So now, as far as the weeklies go, let's see what Tesla did yesterday. Tesla went a little nuts. Because as you recall, the day before, Tesla dropped massively. Where'd it go? It dropped 6.08% in one day, right? And I kind of mentioned in yesterday's video, when it has a big drop, typically it's going to recover a little the next day. But not only did it recovered then some. So it went up 8.22%. Tesla went up 8.22%. TSLY, since it got capped, it went up 5.94%. So again, it lost out on approximately 2%, obviously 2.3% or so, because of the tight strikes. And let's see why they closed some of their positions. Cold as hell in here again. All right, so if I scroll up, all right, so that's the end of it. It starts here. So here's the 1,500 contracts. They paid $19.85 to close the 390, which means they paid $2.9 million. So that transaction was a loss of $1.7 million. And the reason they do that, if you watched my latest interview with Jay, is, the way they use these call credit spreads, sometimes to their advantage, is if there's a quick turnaround and they can get out of a trade sooner than later and make money on the call that they bought, then they will. Because again, at the time they bought the call for $417.50, it was only worth $257. And since Tesla jumped up massively so fast in a day, essentially, from when they bought it, it's now worth $669. So they made a quick profit on that trade, right? If you look at that individually, they made $1 million. So in the end, they actually made $618,000 on that trade. But between the two, the call credit spread together, right, it was a loss of $1.1 million. Because the reason they did that is, as of right now, Tesla's at what, 410, and this call that they bought is at 417.50. So it's much more valuable now than it will be come expiration date, should Tesla not move that much in price, if that makes sense. All right, so that's why they did that. Same thing with the 8,000 contracts. Again, they lost their shirt. They paid $17.57 on the call. So they paid $14 million, right? So they lost $8.8 million on the sell call. However, they did make a $5.19 credit per share on the buy call, or $4.1 million. So in the end, that was a credit of 2.7. So again, they only lost $6.1 million. So that's kind of how they're using these, it seems, especially, for the quick turnarounds, if they can. So take that for what it's worth. If you think that's a good strategy or not, I don't know. You guys be the judge. It's your money. I'm just explaining what they're doing. If whether it's right or wrong is another story. What's the best strategy? Again, who the hell knows? But they are the experts, and they made that play. Now, what did they do with the new contracts? Well, they opened positions, same expiration date, obviously, which is next week, 1,500 contracts. They chose a 415 strike price. However, they only went 1.11% out of the money. And when I say only, again, I don't know the time of the trade. So Tesla was going up and up and up all day. So they could have done it earlier, which means this was more out of the money. I don't know. But as of right now, it looks pretty awful. 1.11% out of the money, which is, disgusting. However, they do have the call credit spread, obviously. They bought a call 435. That's a $20 gap. The gaps are looking a little better. And then they got the 8,000 contracts. They did a 422.50 on that one, at least. That's 2.94% out of the money. Again, way too tight, but I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Tesla did have a big jump, so maybe they're not expecting it at this, to stay up too high. Maybe, a slight correction based on what just happened. Now, the remaining shares, where do they stand? Well, the remaining shares sit at a 400 strike price, right? They closed what? They closed part of the 400, and then they closed at 390. So they left the remainder of the 400 strike price contracts alone because, again, maybe, just maybe, Tesla will come back down under that price and they could win these trades. So they decided to, essentially split the decision here and go with, some here and some there, which is good. This is active management at its best, right? Which, it's a pain in the ass for me. So I'm going to bitch. Of course I am. But I have to say, good. This is pretty, I like when they do stuff like this. It just shows it's not just so typical by the book. Close everything, open everything, right? They're actually thinking, it seems. So this is good. So the 400 strike price, which remains on the rest of the contracts. How many contracts? I don't know, man. 18,000 something. It's 2.54% in the money. So yeah, obviously not a good start. But again, Tesla could go down next week. And if not, they probably will close them early. And they'll get the credit on the buy call. Outstanding shares did not move, at least per my numbers, so nothing to talk about there. 30-day IV, 68%. Outstanding share total, 81,075,000. Total net income, luckily they're still producing income. That's 6 mil, so that's good. That's a distribution of 7 cents, a daily income of a penny, and a daily yield of 0.06%. And if you annualize that sucker, that's 21%. That annualized yield obviously dropped because they did pay a lot of money yesterday closing those positions. Reaction, yeah, the spread. They're using the spread to their advantage. So that's the best spread picture I can get. So, yeah, you're welcome. Anyway, Group A declares again in 18 days, January 22nd. All right, so what's our payment information look like now? Synthetic income, 16.8 mil. Short call income, 6 mil. Total net income, 22.9 mil. That's a total income per share of 28 cents, or a short call income per share. Short call meaning the weekly plays of 7 cents. 8 wins, 8 losses, by the way. People, I did get a comment to keep it separate, how I have it, so that we can see how many times the call credit spread, overall was a success. So for now, I'm going to keep it unless I hear otherwise. So the TSLY Rodometer did show 22 cents when all said and done, but obviously that's a much less amount from the day prior because their weekly average is not as high. That's a 20% yield. So we can't really use that because that's not happening. They're not paying us a 20% yield. So we'll use the IV. The IV is around 69%, and that would produce an 82-cent payment. That's a little more realistic. All right, so now we'll go to the holdings. So here is TSLY Holdings. They got the put, the 239 mil on the put, and then they got the buy call, right? What is Tesla price at? Well, what is the synthetics at? What, 480? And Tesla's at 410. So is that a gold digger? Ah, man, I guess it is. So you take my money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a trifling friend indeed. Oh, she's a gold digger. Wherever time that day gonna be. I guess I'm losing it. You could say that. Anyway, maybe I'm having too much fun. I actually played it on Alexa the other day, and I was like, he sounds a little better than me, I guess. But anyway, enough of the gold digger, right? We know our synthetic is in a tough spot, so that's why we're talking about gold diggers. But let's see how this week coming up plays out. Our synthetic is a negative 190 mil. And the value of this fund is 1.1 bill. The NAV is 14.25, and the trade price is 14.26. Okay, so that was TSLY. Obviously, we cover TSLY still in detail. And now we still cover MSTY in detail. Again, people will bitch. I know I should have kept NVDY over this, over that. But some people hate TSLY. Some people love TSLY. But it's hard to give up TSLY because TSLY is the one that started it all. And it's hard to give up MSTY because MSTY is the beast. MSTY is now the GOAT. I know NVIDIA was the GOAT, but now MSTY is the GOAT. So there is no pleasing. And eventually, guys, I'm probably just going to cover everything on a holdings level. by the end of this year. Who the hell knows? But again, the reason I like to cover it this way still is not, for me, right? It's not because it's too exciting entering numbers, every single day, but it's the best way, in my opinion, to show how these funds work. I mean, you could show how they work just looking at the holdings and talking about them. But if I can keep at least 1 to 2 funds and cover it on a detailed basis, at least you'll understand how the funds work. And then you could take that, and do whatever you want with it, if that makes sense. All right, so let's move on to MSTY trades. So that's NVDY. Again, I tapped out on NVDY. And there's, again, so many freaking trades. And it's tough to look at these. So I'm not going to really go into detail. But if you look in the middle column where you see like the contract, the options contract, what do you see? You see no P's, okay? So the synthetic was not touched. So, but you do see a lot of BCs. And guess what, guys? They already closed their freaking 1-3 positions. They closed out their expiration dates from Friday. I already did that work, and I thought I was free and clear, but no, the market had to market, and here we are, BC by the close. Not every, but I don't know how many, but a lot of them. They closed a lot of the contracts that expired next week, just like TSLY, and they opened new ones for next week. So it's crazy. It's not even just the call credit spreads. Obviously, it'll be a little easier without them. But obviously, look at the number of freaking trades. That being said, if you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. This is a decent amount of work. Did I screw anything up? Probably, right? Probably. I was entering this last night with a glass of wine because good Lord, right? Good Lord. Anyway, so let's go to the spreadsheet. All right, so here we are. Again, MSTY has a 315. They did not add to this synthetic. So this synthetic stands. MSTR price is 339. This synthetic is 315, right? So what does that mean? That means it's worth a decent amount of money now, 7.83%. It's up, so that's good, right? Better than what we talked about just the other day. All right, now let's see how how did you do yesterday, Mister? Oh my God! Look how much I've freaking got to scroll. I mean, it's good, great green market, but with a crazy green market or a crazy down market, you know what happens? YieldMax makes a move, which is also good, guys, because it's actively managed. People always say, do they deserve their 0.9%? Yes, if it's an actively managed account, an options freaking trading account, look at all those damn trades. That ain't easy. I mean, if you think it is, go ahead, do it, right? But it ain't easy. It requires a lot of thinking, and believe me, there's timing. Like, they have to get the timing right, so I'm sure it's not easy. But anyway, I'm not here to, give them too much props here, but I'm just trying to explain, what a pain in the ass. Okay, here we go. MSTR went up 13.22%. MSTY... No, ew. It went up 8.69%. So that's a tough one to swallow right there. A 5%, almost a 5% miss out. We lost out on approximately 5%. I mean, but when a fund is going to jump up 13% in one day on a covered call ETF, I mean, what do you really expect? Do you really think we're going to capture all that? I mean, not really. We did capture 8.69%. Is that good? Again, you be the judge. Now, I'm not here to tell you guys what's right or wrong. I know I do on occasion, but I'm trying to, maybe New Year, I'll just go back to my original, right, and just say, this is what they did. I don't know. All right, here we go. All right, where do I even go? I don't even know, man. See, look at this. Look at this chaos. All right, I'm just going to go from the top. All right, I'm just going to go from the top to the bottom. That's the easiest way. I can't go in any order. All right. 1,000 contracts. This had a 350 strike. They closed it. When did they close this? Paid 320. Oh, duh. This one expired yesterday. Okay, so they did have one expiring yesterday. And this strike was actually above MSTR price, which is good. So this is why they got a decent amount of upside. It's only 1,000 contracts, but they actually still won. They still won. So they paid 20 cents. This was a win. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. All right. Good way to start. Now let's get into the others. 13,000 contracts, 332.50 strike. This one went untouched. It is 2.11% in the money. Obviously expires next week. We'll see how that plays out. Then they have 172 and 3,328 contracts, both with a 312.50 strike price. These they closed. They paid $29.60 to close these. Again, why? Well, it's kind of what I explained on TSLY. They utilized the call credit spread in advance because, again, they bought the call, right? They bought a call at 357.50. MSTR jumped to 339, which is not above the call price. However, how quick it did, they still have so much time value left in that position. They're going to take advantage and take that 922 up front, right? Offset the damage. Yeah, we're going to take a hit on the 312.50. Obviously, we paid $29.60, but we're going to offset that with the 922, and then we're going to open a new position with a higher strike price for next week, all right? So, yes, they lost on the sold call, but they won on the buy call, all right? So this is their insurance policy that they decided to use early. Now, they also had a 320 strike price. This had 2,727, 5,000, and 5,000, sorry. So it's 7,727. Guys, there's too many freaking numbers. But anyway, they paid $27.02 to close that, and they cashed out, the whole thing, obviously. The call that they bought, they got $9.42. So same thing. Again, cashing out that nice and early. And then they got 13,108 contracts. This one's still open. This has a 330 strike, and that is 2.84% in the money. Then they had a 6,000 contracts and 5,805 contracts, 307.50 strike. That was 9.47% in the money, but they closed these. They paid $23.39 for one, and then they paid $30.13 for another. Big price gap there. Hopefully I got that right. And then they got they got the credits on the the buy calls. So for the full call credit spread, yes, they overall lost money. However, again, it could have been worse had they not have the credit call spread in place. All right, going down the line. I know this is freaking confusing as hell because there's way too many numbers, but I'm doing the best I can here. We got 1,850 contracts. You got the 600 and the 1250 down below. That had a 315 strike price. They closed out both of those. Various prices too, 29.42 and 31.41. But you see the massive credit they got from the call that they did buy. And then they have 1,000 contracts, 320 strike price. Again, they decided to close that one out and take the credit for the call. So, again, way too much data. Way too much. Not what I signed up for, but it is what it is. Now, let's look at the new positions. All right, so what do we got in pink here? They opened a 372.50. This looks to be the highest strike price, okay? How many contracts? Well, they got about 10,000 contracts. That's 9.67% out of the money for next week. Again, you saw how fast MSTR can go up. So is this safe? Who the hell knows, man? And then they got 5,000. Let's see this one. 5,805 contracts, 365 strike. That's 7.46% out of the money. And then they got 6,000 contracts, 345. Ew, this one is disgusting. It's 1.57% out of the money. So, yeah, that one, I don't know. Maybe it'll win. You never know. MSTR could go down. And then we got a 367.50. This is for about 4,100 contracts. That's 8.2% out of the money. I mean, guys, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen for next week. MSTR is obviously completely out of control. So they may lose their shirts again. But is that a smart move? You saw what they did. Do you consider that a good move? Again, and I kind of like how they only did it for some and not all. But yeah. Outstanding shares, let's see. Yep, it increased by 425,000. And let's go to the recap. The 30-day IV is 94%. Outstanding shares, 61 mil. Total net income, 60.3 mil. Total distribution, 99 cents. Daily income, 6 cents. Daily yield, 0.21%. And if you annualize that sucker, that's 76%. Woo, that's a mouthful. And why did I pick this reaction? What is this, magic eye? I assume it is. I don't freaking know. But this is what I saw when I opened the trades yesterday. This was my mind. Crazy, crazy. Anyway, Group D declares again in 11 days on January 15th. All right, let's get to the fun part. The payment information. Synthetic income, that's a loss. That's a debit of 5.3. So we'll just look at the short call income. The weeklies are producing 60.3 mil. So if we share that with 61 million people, then that's about 90 cents per share, all right? Or if we share just the weeklies, it's 99 cents per share, all right? Let's run this into the Rotometer, and what will the Rotometer pay? Wow, what a complicated calculator here. $1.67, 74% yield. Ew. Based on the IV, though, the IV is 94%, so they will try to strive for 214. But again, we'll see. We got time. As you can see, it shows 38 wins, 38 losses. Again, is there a point to that? I don't think so, personally. That's why I'd like to combine the two. But I might even get rid of that completely. It's kind of stupid. But you guys are, you guys have the say, so feel free to leave feedback. All right, let's look at the MSTY holdings. The pink put, 181 mil. The orange call, 318 mil. So ain't no gold digger here. No. So no singing. So what do we got for next week? You can read that. I'm not reading that again. Anyway, the synthetic is worth 136 mil. The value of this fund, again, pumping again. It might hit 2 bill soon now. It's 1.7 bill, almost 1.8 bill. The NAV is 29.45, and the trade price is 29.52. Okay. That was just the two funds. Again, it takes a lot of time, too, to cover funds like that in detail. So, again, here's NVDY. Again, it's now part of the holdings coverage. If this works out smoothly, then it is possible I could I could add, people have been asking for Platy. People have been asking for a couple other ones. I think Platy might be the most popular one. But I don't know. We'll see how this goes. If this changing to this makes my life that much easier, we shall see. All right. So did NVDY had trades yesterday? Well, you damn right they did. And my hands are frozen. Let me see if I can scroll to them still. By the way, here's the new thumbnail. See how TSLY and MSTY, of course, are a bigger chunk of the page there. All right. So, oh my God. So, what in the hell did they do, right? What in the hell? I know, I wrote it, I give up. I'm not ashamed to admit it, it's over. But who cares? Here we go. BC by the close, 530, okay? 530, yeah, that means they probably lost. BC by the close, 45, yep, they probably lost. BC by the close, 540, BC by the close, 550, BC by the close, 521. Okay, why is that a loss? Well, look at the new position they opened. Right? SS, look at the SS. Sold call 147 at the top, 225 credit. So that's probably around what they got when they opened the other position. So if they're paying $5 to close the old, then more than likely, yes, that is a loss because the market went market yesterday. All right, so that's for NVDY. And let's pull up the spreadsheet. All right, so how did NVIDIA do yesterday? NVIDIA went up 4.26%. NVIDIA went down 1.27%, all right? Well, again, we had an annoying holiday week, how everything landed, so it's hard to tell what day's what. But yesterday was ex-dividend day for NVIDIA, so it dropped by 1.27. Well, I don't know what it dropped by. It dropped by the distribution. But obviously, it could have been worse if NVIDIA went down. Since NVIDIA went up, NVDY only went down 1.27% with that big distribution. Now, here are their holdings. Again, how are they doing? The NVIDIA is currently at what 144, and they have a 127, a 138, and a 148. Again, this is our first time covering it via holdings, so it's going to take a little time getting used to. So right now, the 144 is above the 127. It's above the 138, but it's below the 148. So that's good. It's above 2 out of the 3, so that's not bad. And then they have, obviously, the calls down below in orange. You'll see that. That's the other part of the synthetic. But let's look at the trades heading into next week. Let's see where they stand. So they have 13,872 contracts, 141 strike price. That's 2.4% in the money. Well, that's not good. They have 41,800 contracts, 147 strike price. That's 1.75% out of the money. That's definitely not safe. And then the largest position is 52,018 contracts, 148 strike price, 2.44% out of the money. Yeah, that one's scary too. But I don't know, man. They do have the call credit spreads, so the closest one is 3.14% away from helping, and then 5%, and then 9%. So we'll see if those are needed for next week. All right, so here is the synthetic bailout money. It is worth 77 mil. The value of NVIDY is 1.5 bill. The NAV is 23.58. Trade price 23.60. And here's somewhat of a recap for NVIDY. Their 30-day IV is 43%. The IV estimate is 79 cents, and they're part of Group B. They declare in 25 days. And for whatever reason, I just had the future days there as well. All right, up next is AMZY. AMZY had freaking trades too, right? Everyone did. All right, so here's AMZY. What did they do? I don't know, man. They did a lot. All right, they did a lot. I'm tired of talking, but I'm not even close to done. They did a buy call, sell put, sell call, buy call. All right, what does that mean? I got to take a sip of water. That's what it means. They added to their synthetic position 250 contracts, and they used that position right away, and they sold calls. 225 strike, bought a call, 230, credit call spread. Okay, check, done. Then they did a BC by the close. All right, they closed something that expired actually yesterday, so okay, that's good. They paid 2 cents. That's a good thing. That means they won, all right? And then they opened a new position, and then down below, they did a BC again. They paid 27 cents. Okay, that's a good thing as well. So it looks like AMZY's winning, but let's go take a look at the spreadsheet. All right, so here's Amazon and AMZY. Amazon, it went up 1.77% yesterday. AMZY went up 1.51%. So that's how you do it. Good job. Good fund here. All right, this synthetic is currently priced at 210. Amazon is priced at 224. 6% above, that's good. Good job. And now the new position heading into next week. 12,045 contracts, 1 strike, 225 strike, 0.36% out of the money. Well, that sucks. That's not that great. But again, we'll see what happens next week. I mean, I don't know. And then they did buy a call. They bought a call for 230. That's 2.59% away from helping. Again, $5 gap. I do like that. So we'll see. If Amazon decides to just stay flat and go down, all right, good. We'll win some money. All right. The synthetic is worth 18 mil, so that's good. This fund is worth its net asset value or assets under management is 269 mil. The NAV is 1921, trade price 1923. We always say AMZY's job is to pay the distro, go back up to 20. Pay the distro, go back up to 20. And it seems to always do that. So, I mean, I know I got out of this fund, which was a mistake. I was trying to get out of the singular risk, the single stock risk. But is Amazon really a single stock, or are they just such a freaking monster, kind of like Apple, right? I don't know, but it's tough. It's really tough. But anyway, 30-day IV, 32%. IV estimate, 47 cents. And they are part of Group D, and they declare when? 11 days, January 15th. All right, so that's AMZY. So AMZY, pretty easy. CONY, they're just another pain in the ass. You know that, right? So let's go back one more time to this. All right, so what do we got here? What the heck is going on? All right, well, BC by the close, 9.59. Well, yeah, that's not going to be good. So obviously they lost that trade. BC by the close, 10.13. Yeah, that sucks. BC by the close, 9.28. Yeah. What does that mean? They means they got whooped. And actually, what are they closing? They're closing 1/10. So they're doing what MSTY and TSLY did. They decided to cash out on the buy call, the other side of the call credit spread, right? You see sell call, right? 195. Sell call 240. Sell call 90 cents. So obviously they closed that out early. They got what they could from that and they moved on to a new position. All right. You don't see it as in, in the same detail as we've shown it, but you shouldn't have to see it. Again, as long as you know what they're doing, that's really what matters because there's so many freaking trades, guys. But again, understanding how it works is more important. Someone asked me in the Discord, how does this affect how you cover a video? I mean, it doesn't really. It just obviously, it's going to affect my guesstimate. My guesstimate may not be as accurate. But again, even when I do cover these, most of them, the ones I cover in detail, sometimes the guesstimates are way off anyway. So it is what it is. Anyway, Coin had a good day too. They went up 4.97%. CONY had a decent day. It went up 3.45%. All right. So if we look at the holdings, we have three synthetics, a 280, a 300, a 320. Coin is currently at 270. That is under all three. So you take my money. Sorry, that's all I'll do. But. It does look better. It does look better. So there is, some hope. There's some hope here. But the gold digger, the net of these gold diggers and these broke losers is 128 mil. But we'll see how that plays out. And then obviously we have everything in between. These are the calls. Oh, crap. I didn't highlight the 5,000. So, oh, well. Anyway, we'll cover them. Let's talk about them now. I don't have this Zoom game proper on this. I'll fix it. I swear I'll fix it. Anyway. Oh, wait. We don't need all that in the picture anyway. There we go. All right. Sorry, guys. 35,580 contracts, 270 strike price. That's 0.24% in the money. 1,325 contracts, 280 strike price. That's 3.45% out of the money. And I know that's shaded wrong, but it's 5,000 contracts, 285 strike price. That's 5.3% out of the money. It's a call. It's a sold call. It's not a call credit spread. Then they have call credit spreads, 300, 305, 310, 10 to 14% away from helping. Will they be needed? I don't know. We'll see. The value of this fund is 1.1 bill. The NAV is 13.89. The trade price is 13.91. We mentioned the synthetic ain't worth a damn. In fact, it's like hurting us, but it looks like things are going to be green, but you never know. The 30-day IV of Coin is 67%. The IV estimate based on that is 72 cents. They're part of Group C, and they declare next week. What does that mean? That means Sunday morning, I got to give you some type of guesstimate. And I haven't even thought about that because you know who else is in freaking Group C? You know who else is in Group C? Ulti's in Group C. What does that mean? I'm supposed to be covering Ulti. So now I got my hands full with Ulti, with that for this weekend. So obviously that adds another video for this weekend, which creates additional work. But I will do my best to make sure I get that done. I don't know when, today or tomorrow. Well, hopefully before the estimate video. So actually I have to kind of do it today. Anyway, guys, as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, we will try again next time. Let me know what you guys think of the change on NVDY. Are you happy? Are you sad? Do you really not care? Is the coverage this way sufficient? Again, hopefully you all understand why I did it. They're becoming a little more complex. But again, the important part is even if I cover even just one, I just think it helps to understand especially for newer investors as they join my channel for the first time and they're trying to understand the trades. That is why. That is why I always want to keep one, right? For now, I'm going to keep the two, and I'll do my best to always keep them because TSLY's the flagship. I don't care if half the people hate it and half the people love it. It's the one that started it all, right? And like I said, MSTY is just a beast. So it's hard to deny either one of them. So that's why NVDY had to go. And I know NVIDIA's kind of been steady Eddie, which is good, you know? So I don't think it's, you know, I think it'll be fine covering it the current way we are. So that being said, if you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button as mentioned earlier. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them down in the comments below. Outside of that, I got nothing. So if you made it this far in the video, you want to prove it, you gotta say the keyword. What's the keyword? Who the hell knows, right? But frickin' NVDY. How about that? Frickin' NVDY. So if you made it this far in the video, if you're new to the channel, we do a keyword at the end. I know it's corny, but at the same time, it's awesome. But if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, what you have to do is you have to type in the keyword in the comments. And today's keyword is frickin' NVDY. And you know why it's frickin' NVDY, because it's frickin' NVDY. Okay, guys? All right. Again, thank you for watching. You're awesome. You're the best. Even though some of them are negative comments, it's all good, right? A comment's a comment, and I'll try to reply if it requires a reply. I'll do my best. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great weekend, and we will talk again soon. All right? Later.